Hello friends, welcome to our channel. In this lecture, I would like to solve one example based on the stiffness matrix method. So the stiffness matrix methods are the excellent extension of the slope deflection method. So the stiffness matrix method is also called as displacement method and also equilibrium method. So while solving the problem, we are using stiffness matrices. That is the reason this method is also called as stiffness matrices method. So here the basic unknowns are the displacements. That is the reason this method is also called as displacement method. While solving the problem, equilibrium equations are formed and solved. That is the reason this method is also called as equilibrium method. So here our basic unknowns are the displacement for solving this type of the stiffness matrices. So you please remember that one. Our basic unknowns are displacements. Then what is stiffness here? Stiffness equal to force per unit displacement. Stiffness formula will be equal to force per unit displacement. So stiffness will be denoted with the notation K here, and force with the notation P, and displacement with the notation delta. So here our basic unknowns are displacements, means here we are going to find these displacement by using this stiffness matrix method. So see here I am taking this delta this side and K downward side. If you simplify this one directly, 1 by K means K inverse into P. Delta value will be equal to K inverse into P. So if you simplify this formula and if you solve this formula, you will get the final formula will be equal to this one. Delta value will be equal to, you will get the final formula will be equal to this one. Delta will be equal to K inverse P minus PL. So if you simplify this formula, you will get the final equation like this. Delta will be equal to K inverse P minus PL. So here this delta will be equal to the unknown displacements. So we are finding based on this stiffness matrices. Again K11, K22 are the stiffness matrices. So that can be found by using these problem, by solving this problem. And this P refers to the final forces. This P refers to the final forces, that is external forces, and this PL are the forces due to the given loading conditions. So for example, if there will be 10 kilonewton loads given in this problem, so this PL can be obtained by using this given loading condition, and this P can be obtained by the final forces or any external forces given in the question. I will show you that also one by one. In step by step method, I will show you each and every term. Okay, so our first step is to find the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. So while for solving the stiffness matrix method, so our first step is to find the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. So degree of kinematic indeterminacy or degree of freedom. Degree of kinematic indeterminacy or degree of freedom. See here, how many degree of freedoms in this given beam? How many degree of freedoms in this given beam? So for the fixed end, how many degree of freedom? There will be 0 degree of freedom for the fixed end. Why? Because for example, if I fix any structure, if I can apply any horizontal load also, it cannot go any horizontal direction. If I apply any external force, then also it cannot move. If I apply any vertical loading, means then also it cannot go downwards. Why? Because the structure whenever it will be fixed means it cannot move in any direction. That is the reason degree of freedom at the fixed end will be equal to 0. Degree of freedom for the fixed end will be equal to 0. And what about the roller support? So for the roller support, how many degree of freedom? Generally for the roller support there will be 2 degree of freedom. And what are those? See here, the roller have the eligibility for moving in the horizontal direction. If I apply any load horizontally, means it can move in the horizontal direction. And if I apply any external force or any movement here, then also the roller can move here. So if I apply any vertical load means what happens? There will be one vertical reaction for the roller support. This vertical reaction will try to resist that vertical displacement. Therefore, for the roller support, there will be no vertical degree of freedom. But there is a chances of rotational movement 1 and one translational movement which is moving in the horizontal direction. But here in our case, this is the continuous beam and there will be no horizontal loads given in the given example. That is the reason there will be no horizontal movement also. So generally there will be 2 degree of freedom for the roller support, but here this is a continuous beam. There will be no horizontal loads applied in the given example. That is the reason there will be no horizontal degree of freedom. There will be no translational movements, but there will be one rotational movement at B and another rotational movement at C. Therefore, here one degree of freedom, that is one rotational movement, and at the same time here one rotational movement. So therefore, total degree of freedom or degree of kinematic indeterminacy will be equal to 0, 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 2. If our degree of kinematic will be 2, means if our degree of freedom will be 2, degree of kinematic indeterminacy will be equal to 2 means, so you will get 2 by 2 matrices for the solving the problem. If our degree of freedom kinematic indeterminacy will be equal to 1 means, you will get 1 by 1 matrix for solving the problem. If our degree of kinematic indeterminacy will be equal to 3 means, so there will be 3 by 3 matrices for solving this problem. See here, this is the given equation. If you will get 1 degree of freedom means, you can use this equation directly and solve the problem. So for example, if your degree of kinematic indeterminacy will be equal to 2 means, you can take 2 by 2 matrices for solving this problem. So see here, this is the 2 by 2 matrices. This is the 2 by 2 matrices. Here there will be 2 displacement, unknown displacement, that is delta 1 and delta 2. So we are taking that one as one coordinate here position, another coordinate position here. I will show you that one in the next diagram. And stiffness matrices are the K11, K12, K21, K22 for the 2 by 2 matrices. And here P1 and P2, there will be 2 external, based on that you can take in these external forces and forces due to the given loading condition. I will explain that that in the another diagram. See here, this is a continuous beam which is given in the question, continuous beam. So this is the continuous beam which is given in the question. So our degree of kinematic indeterminacy will be equal to 2. So then we are selecting coordinates in this position. So for this diagram, we are selecting the coordinate. See here in the figure B, I am selecting the coordinate positions. Where we are going to selecting these coordinate positions. So here our basic unknowns are the displacement. That is the reason we are selecting coordinate positions at B and C. So why we are not selecting any coordinate position here means, at the fixed end there will be no degree of freedom. That is the reason whatever you select at that position it will be 0. But there will be 1 degree of freedom at B and another degree of freedom at C. That is the reason if your degree of kinematic indeterminacy will be equal to 2 means, I am selecting one at B, another at C. So our coordinate positions will be at B and C. Therefore our coordinate selected at B and C. Again move to the next figure, which is figure C. So fully restrained structure. Observe the question. Here at A it will be fixed, at B it will be roller support, and at C it will be roller support. Here in this condition, in the third figure, what we are doing? We are fixing the entire structure. So we are removing that roller support and we are fixing that structure. We are removing this roller support and fixing the structure. Like that we are fixing this entire structure. That is called fully restrained structure. Means we are fixing the entire structure both at A, B, C. And based on that we are finding the fixed end moments. Based on this structure only we are finding this fixed end moments. See here, if you are finding fixed end moments means, we are finding the fixed end moments for that one. See here, Based on this fully restrained structure, we are finding the fixed moments. See here. So what are the formulas for finding fixed moments? M bar AB. M bar AB will be equal to, so when a point load is acting exactly at the center, what is our fixed moment? M bar AB means that one will be equal to minus WL by 8. See here, I will written here minus WL by 8, where W equal to 10 and L equal to length of that particular span AB, that is 4 meters, divided by 8. If you simplify this one, 40 by 8 equal to minus 5 kilonewton meter. Again, your fixed movement at from MBA, M bar BA, that one will be equal to opposite to that MAB, that is plus WL by 8. If you simplify, all the values are same. If you simplify this one, you will get plus 5 kilonewton meter. Again, what about M bar BC? So your M bar BC means fixed movement for M bar BC. Here it will be acting in the anti-clockwise direction. Here again the movement will be acting in the clockwise direction. Therefore, your M bar BC will be equal to minus WL square by 12 and plus WL square 12, where W equal to given 20 kilonewton per meter, that is the reason 20, and L equal to overall length of the span will be 3 meters. So therefore L square will be there. 3 into 3 it will be 9. And again, if you divided by 12, if you simplify this one, you will get minus 15 kilonewton meter, and for this one 15 kilonewton meters. These are our fixed ends. These are our fixed ends. So already in the formula itself I told you this P1 refers to the forces which are given for forces. So I already told you this P1 for the external forces or final forces, and this P1L for the forces due to the given load conditions. Based on that one, we are going to find this P1L. See here, if you want to find this P1L, forces developed in fully restrained structure. So our P1L, so see here, we are selecting this as our first coordinate position and we are selecting this as our second coordinate position. Already I shown you in the last diagram. See here, we are selecting this one as the first coordinate position and this one as the second coordinate position. So we are at the joint. We are at the joint. For this joint, what are the members connecting? So P1L refers to the sum of the fixed moments at a joint. Sum of the fixed moment will be equal to M bar BA plus M bar BC. So already we solved this M bar BA plus M bar BC. See here, if you take that one, you will get minus 10 kilonewton meter. And again P2L. For P2L, you will get only one moment for this joint, one member for this joint, that is MCB. So take down MCB, M bar CB fixed moment, that one will be equal to 15 kilonewton meter. For the joint B, there will be two connecting members, that is the reason we are taking sum of the joints at a particular joint for solving P1L. And for P2L, there will be only one member, that is the reason MCB. For example, if it will be 3 by 3 matrices, we are taking if another member will be there means what we have to do. So for example, if another connecting member will be there here, so for solving this P2L, what we have to do, sum of the connecting members at a joint MCB plus MCD, like that we have to take that one. And why we are not taking MAB here means we are not selecting this A as our coordinate position, that is the reason we are not taking this at joint A as our P1L and P2L. That is the reason there will be only two coordinates selected here, and based on these coordinate positions only you will get this P1L and P2L. Okay, and forces due to the given load, forces due to the external forces, this P1 and P2, we are talking about this P1, already this P1 and L, P2L we are simplified here, that is minus 10 and 15, and we are talking about this P1, P2. So this P1 and P2 can be simplified by using these final forces. So what are the final forces? From starting itself I am telling about the final forces and external forces. So in this question, if you observe the entire diagram, there will be no final forces or any external forces given in this problem. So I will show you that one. So see here, this is another example. This is the another example. So in the end AB, there will be cantilever position. So in the this is a continuous beam BC CD, there will be another cantilever position for DE. So for this type of problems, what we have to do? Force into distance is our moment. 100 into 3 is 300 kilonewton meter. So which is acting anti-clockwise? That is the reason I am acting anti-clockwise moment here. That is 300 kilonewton meter. Similarly, for the joint D, there will be cantilever member will be there. So therefore, if you simplify this, resolve this moment, 100 into 2, which is 200 kilonewton meter. So this will be acting towards clockwise to the point D. Therefore, we are taking clockwise moment, which is 200 kilonewton meter. So this one will be acting to anti-clockwise and this will be acting clockwise. So we have to remove this cantilever positions and apply moment directly from at both B and D. So therefore, here these type of forces will be called as the final forces. This type of forces will be called as the final forces. So at B there will be one final force which is 300 kilonewton meter, and at D there will be another final force which is 200 kilonewton meter. So sometimes if there will be given any external force or movement, directly say some 300 kilonewton meter at C means you can consider that as also final force. But here there will be not mentioned any external force movement here at joint C. Otherwise, directly in the question itself, without cantilever positions, they can mention moments also. You can consider that moments as our external forces or final forces. So see here in the last question, what we are discussing present here. In this example, they didn't given any cantilever positions or any external forces in this question. Therefore, our final forces or external forces will be taken here as 0. Why? Already I told you how the external forces will be there. If you observe this figure means, here in this question there will be cantilever position. If you simplify this one and consider as moment at B and moment at C. So this type of forces will be called as final forces. For example, how many degree of freedoms here? There will be 1 degree of freedom at the hinge B, another degree of freedom at the hinge C, another degree of freedom at the hinge D. So therefore there will be 3 degree of freedom, and there is a chances of selecting 3 by 3 coordinates positions at one will be B, another will be C, and another will be D. So this is the matrices. This problem you will get 3 degree of freedom. Based on that you will get 3 by 3 matrices. Okay. So our coordinate position at B, at C and at D. Therefore, you will get P1, P2, P3. So force at P1 will be equal to force at P1, external force at P1. So external force at P1 will be equal to here minus 300 kilonewton meter. Minus 300 kilonewton meter. Again, external force P2 will be equal to 0 because there will be no any force mentioned at C if we selected that as another coordinate. And what about this force D? P3. So for the third coordinate position, your P3 will be equal to 200 kilonewton meter. Friends, don't be confused. In the next example, I will take this type of problem to solve. Then I will show there also clearly. So for showing the difference, what is external forces for the previous problem, but generally here it will be not mentioned in this question. If I say directly your external forces will be equal to 0 means you will get confused what are the external forces like that. That is the reason I will taken this model for showing the type of external forces. So you please remember in this problem external forces are not mentioned. So that is the reason our external forces are 0. Okay. So already you people know this P1 and P1L. Then we are going to find delta 1 and delta 2 finally. So because all these two are our basic unknowns, and we are simplifying this K11, K12, K21 and K22 by using this problem. So then move to the diagram. So we are continuing the explanation of this diagram. After completion of the restraint structure, fully restrained structure, what we are doing means applying unit. So see here in the figure D, unit displacement in coordinate direction 1. Unit displacement in coordinate direction 1. So we are releasing the structure at B. So you please remember this given statement. I am telling in the form of the sentence. We are releasing the structure at B. Whatever we are fixed previously, we are releasing the structure at B and apply unit coordinate at B. We are releasing the structure at B and apply unit coordinate at B. then what happens, we are applying unit coordinate, that is delta 1 equal to some 1, but that is one unit coordinate, delta or theta. So whenever we are applying this unit coordinate, based on this unit displacement, you will get a displacement like this. Based on this unit moment, you will get a displacement like this, both for BC member and BA member. Then we are taking this one as K11. And what about this K11? This K11 stands for force at the first coordinate and displacement due to the displacement at the displacement is also at the first coordinate direction. I will show that one. And again, whatever the moment applied here, you can carry half of the moment to the other end, that is K21. So our other moment will be K21. That one will be equal to force at the second coordinate, force at the second coordinate direction when the displacement is at the first coordinate direction. Okay. So in the next diagram, what we have to do? So based on this fully restrained structure, so we are going to move the second coordinate position. So here B will be fixed like that only. So for the second time, we are just releasing only C. We are fixing A and B both, and we are releasing C. Release the structure at C and apply unit coordinate at C. See this diagram. This diagram indicates that statement. Release the structure at C and apply unit coordinate at C. So whenever we are releasing structure and apply the unit coordinate, unit moment means what happens, whenever a force will be applied like this, you will get the unit displacement. You will get the displacement on a member like this. Why? Because we are releasing the structure. If the structure is fixed like that only, means you don't get any displacement here. But we are fixing the structure both at A and B, and we are applying the moment here. Based on that, you will get the displacement at this position. That one will be considered as K22. And whatever the moment applied here, take half of the moment to its another end, that is K12. See here, if you observe this diagram also, so then I will explain these two diagrams one by one. See here, unit displacement in a coordinate direction. So we are releasing this structure at B, and we are applying unit coordinate at B. Unit displacement, we are releasing the structure at B and applying unit displacement at B, means what happens, the beam will get displacement like this. Okay, K11 and K12, and again the structure at A and C will be fixed. So you won't get any displacement at A and C. Why? Because degree of freedom at A and C will be 0. At B we are releasing the structure and applying unit displacement. Then you will get the displacement like this for this member. Okay. Therefore, whatever the moment applied here, you consider half of the moment for the other end. And I told you K11, K22, all these things. What is K11? K11. K11. See here, this K11, you consider that K as F and T. So this one for the force and this one for the displacement. So in what way you have to remember this K11? This one, first one for the force and second one for the displacement. So why force? F means force at first coordinate direction when displacement is also at the first coordinate direction. You remember like this, FD, force at first coordinate direction when the displacement is also at the first coordinate direction. Then move to the K21. Similarly, you mention that one. F T. What about these two? Force at the second coordinate direction. Force at the second coordinate direction when the displacement is at first coordinate direction. This force at the second coordinate direction when the displacement is at the first coordinate direction. Similarly, we are talking about K22 for the next problem, next case, K22 for the next case. So then I will show you there. So you just remember up to here, K11, force at the first coordinate direction when the displacement is also at the first coordinate direction. Force at the second coordinate direction when the displacement is at first coordinate direction. Then what about this K11? So you always remember this K11. This K11, 1 unit value will be equal to, for K11, 1 unit value will be equal to 4 EI by L. 1 unit value will be equal to 4 EI by L. So I am always telling that apply unit displacement. What is that unit displacement? That unit displacement will be taken as 4 EIL by N. You please remember this 4 EI by L constant for all these things. How this 4 EI by L will be obtained? I will show you that one also. See here, see here, both A and C will be fixed. Both A and C will be fixed. So if I am applying the unit moment, what happens? I am directly telling 4 EI by L. So somebody get a doubt. So how this 4 EI by L will coming here as a unit value? So for this one, so this can be this 4 EI by L can be obtained by using the slope deflection equation. By using the slope deflection equation. So already you people know slopes at the fixed ends, that is at A and C will be equal to 0. So therefore your theta A will be equal to 0. So here your theta A will be equal to, here theta A will be, here your theta A will be equal to 0. Our slope at fixed end, theta A will be equal to 0. So okay. So our slope at fixed end will be equal to 0. And what about this MBA? This MBA refers to the fixed end moments. So here we are applying unit displacement at 1 and we are not considering any given loading conditions. That is the reason your fixed end moments MBA will be equal to 0 plus 2 EI by L. 2 EL by LBA. So what about this length of this span? That length of this span will be taken as 4. So therefore 2 EI by 4 into 2 theta B. So if you simplify that one, what you will get? 2 EI by 4 into 2 theta B. So in the initially wherever L equal to L we are taking here for getting the unit length, 2 into 2 will be equal to 4 and 4 EI theta B by length of the BA. 4 EI theta B by length of the value BA. So that one will be equal to wherever theta B. So we are taking this theta will be equal to 1 means theta B equal to 1. So 4 EI by L. So like that you will obtain this 4 EI by L. So in the I will show you this how you will get this 4 EI by L for the next K12 and K22 also. Then you will get a clear idea. So you otherwise you just remember always one unit displacement value will be equal to 4 EI by L. So see here I am applying 4 EI by L as our unit displacement. For example, we are at the joint B. There will be two connecting members. Our unit displacement value for one will be, for member BC will be equal to 4 EI by L. So that one will be equal to this one, 4 EI by length of the span BC. And again, our unit displacement for this member AB or BA will be equal to 4 EI by LAB. So don't be confused. Whatever the unit displacement applied here, that value will be equal to 4 EI by L. So there will be two connecting members. So you can take down particular spans. For span BC, 4 EI by LBC plus for span AB, 4 EI by LAB. Like that you have to take this one. So and substitute whatever the values given in the problem. Wherever, so if, so see here where L equal to length of the span AB, that one will be equal to 4 meters and BC will be equal to length of that particular span BC, that one will be equal to 3. If you simplify that one, you will get 4 EI by 4 plus 4 EI by 3. 4 and 4 will be cancelled means what happens? So there will be LCM. So if you simplify in your calculator directly, EI plus 4 by 3, 4 EI by 3 means 3 plus 4. Take down LCM as 3. 3 plus 4 means 7 EI by 3. That is your K11 stiffness matrices. Again, whatever the moment obtained here, you can carry to its another end, that is at C. Whatever the moment applied here, you can carry half of the moment to its other end. So we are carrying just half of the moment to the other end. Half of the moment to its other end means take down half of the value into K11. So half of the 4ei by LBC. Half of the 4ei by LBC means you don't take entire this k11 equal to 7ei by 3 into 1 by 2. Why? Because this k11 value will be obtained by both the members. But here in this problem we are solving, if you take k21 as the individual connecting member, not entire member, that one will be equal to, k21 will be equal to half of the member which is LBC. For example, here I told you. So what is the unit value for this span BC means 4ei by LBC. So we are carrying only that half of the moment to its other end, not entire this 7ei by 3. Okay, you take down half of the moment of 4ei by LBC, and if you simplify that one you will get 2ei by 3. So cancel this 2 times means you will get 2ei by 3. So you please remember that one. Whenever at a joint you will obtain the final value k11 will be equal to 7ei by 3 means, for we are what we are carrying to its other end means we are just carrying half of the moment what we obtain in the particular span BC. For example, if you are taking if you are carrying half of the moment for AB means what we are taking here means half of the 4ei by LAB, half of the moment for 4ei by LAB, whatever obtained in this particular span. So we are just carrying only that half of the moment, not entire moment. Okay, you please remember the two differences while solving this problem. So if you simplify this one, you will get k21 will be equal to 2ei by 3. So whatever the value obtained to 1, that one will be equal to k21 will be equal to k12. For example, there will be 3 by 3 matrix means k13 will be equal to k31. So you no need to solve that one, you can take directly also, you will get the value. Okay, then we are going to move the second one. So you will get one doubt, why SAR will be taking half of, you have to move half of the moment like that. So I will explain that one also. See here MCB. So based on the slope deflection equation only you will get this one. Based on the slope deflection equation only you will get this unit value. See here slope at B will be equal to there. Slope at C and A will be equal to 0. So whenever we are restraining the structure and just releasing at B, that is the reason you will get slope at B, and both at C and D you will get 0. Again you will get slope at B. And what about this MCB? This M bar CB will be refers to the MCB will refers to the fixed end moment. Your fixed end moments are also 0. Why? Because we are applying only unit displacement at B and carrying another moment at C. But we are not considering any given loading condition. That is the reason your fixed end moments will be considered as 0. If there will be no, we are not considering any given loading means how you can get that values. That is the reason you consider that one as 0. Then plus 2ei by L into 2ei by L into this 0, theta c will be equal to 0 plus theta b, 2ei by L into 2 theta c means 2ei by L into 0 plus 2ei by L into theta b. So you will get directly 2ei theta b by L. So after simplifying this equation, if you take down theta c will be equal to 0 because due to the fixed end there will be no slope. Again your fixed end moments will be 0. So after taking both are zeros, if you multiply this theta b, 2ei theta b by L, again this theta b will be considered as 1 because we are applying unit displacement. Therefore you will get 2ei by L. So like that you are taking k21 will be equal to directly 2ei by L, and again substitute wherever L value will be equal to 3 means you will get directly that one. Otherwise what you have to do means whatever the moment you are taking here in a particular span, you just carry half of the moment to its other end also. In a shortcut way you will obtain this one. So you can remember in both the ways. In the examination you can do according to your own procedure. Okay, then move to the second one, unit displacement in coordinate direction 1. Here according to that condition we are keeping that structures A and B both fixed like that only. And again at C we are releasing the structure and applying unit displacement at 2 at coordinate position 2. Okay, so that one will be taken as K22. Again, what about this K22? Already I told you, I will explain here. So it will be remembered in the form of FD. So what is FD? Force at the second coordinate direction. Force at the second coordinate direction when the displacement is also at the second coordinate direction. You please remember like this: force at the second coordinate direction and when the displacement is also at the second coordinate direction. Again this K12, this K12. What about here this F for force and D for displacement. Force at the first coordinate direction when the displacement is at second coordinate direction. Force at the first coordinate direction when the displacement is at second coordinate direction. So these are the notations for K11, K22, K21, K22. You please remember that one. See here, we are applying unit displacement at C at second coordinate position where we are selecting that one. Then at structure B will be fixed. You won't get any slope or displacement here. So whenever you are applying movement here, based on this movement, you will get a displacement of the structure like this. You will get a displacement on a beam like this. Okay. And whatever the movement obtained here, you just carry half of the movement to its other end. Otherwise, you can simplify according to the equation what I shown previously. Okay, K22. So what is the unit movement I told you here? You just remember K22 will be equal to 4 EI by L is your unit value. You just apply 4 EI by L for this span CB. If there will be any another connecting member will be there, means you can take down 4 EI by LCB and 4 EI by LCD. But there will be no another connecting member here. That is the reason you just take down 4 EI by L as directly. That one will be equal to 4 EI by wherever LCB will be equal to 3 meters 3. Again K12. So what I told you, whatever the movement applied here, you just carry half of the movement to its other end. So here, what is the moment value here? 4 EI by LCB into half. That one will be equal to, simplify that one means you will get 2 EI by 3. 2 EI by 3. So this can be obtained from the equations also. K from the given equations. So I will explain in that manner also. See here, if you want K22. So we are at the structure C position. We are at the coordinate C position. So for the what about MCB? This MCB refers to the fixed end moments. This MCB refers to the fixed end moments. So here we are applying unit displacement at C. Therefore, we are not considering any given loading condition. Therefore, our fixed end moments will be equal to 0 plus 2 EI by L into, what about this 2 into theta C? There will be some slope because we are releasing the structure and applying unit displacement. Therefore, you will get some slope here. That is the reason, take that as theta C like that only. And what is the theta C value? That is taken as 1 unit. So therefore, theta C will be into 1, 2 into 1. Theta C value will be equal to 1 means substitute that one, 2 EI by L into 2. That one will be equal to 4 EI by L. Again, what about this theta B? This theta B means here the structure will be fixed. Therefore, your theta B will be equal to 0. Here our structure will be fixed. Therefore, our theta B will be equal to 0 and the sum of the fixed moments also will be equal to 0. Finally, what happens if you simplify this one? MCB 2 into 2 4 EI by L. So see here, you will get this one, or else I told you, you remember wherever you are applying a unit moment, that one will be taken as directly unit value will be as 4 EI by L, where L means particular span CB. That is the reason I mentioned CB. Again, if you simplify this MBC also in the same manner in this equation, MCB, see here, MBC, for MBC, so for K12 purpose, we are at the B position. So we are solving this K12. So slope at this fixed end will be equal to 0. Therefore, your theta B will be equal to 0. And what about MBC? MBC also 0 because there will be no considering the given loading conditions. And you multiply this one 2 ei by L into theta c. Again theta c will be taken as 1 because of the unit movement. So what is our after simplifying, what you will get? MBC will be equal to 2 ei by L. So 2 ei by L directly 2 ei by L means wherever LBC value, that is 3, 2 ei by 3 directly you will get this K12 from this formula by using the slope deflection formula. Otherwise you can just carry half of the moment, whatever in this span you just carry half of the moment, that is half of the 4 ei by 3 means 2 ei by 3, like that also you will get. So you please remember in both the ways and you can apply whatever procedure you want. So it is better to simplify the problem in the shortcut way. So in the next class, in the next lecture, I will simplify the entire problem in the shortcut way, means you will easily get the values within short time. So in the semester examination, it is very important. Without taking all the slope deflection equation and all this simplification, you get the values directly. You please remember the unit value will be equal to 4 ei by L1, and whatever we are carrying to other end means we are just taking half of the moment. Okay, that is half of the moment on a particular span. Like that you have to remember that one. So like that you will obtain all the stiffness matrices K12, that is 2 ei by 3, K22 4 ei by 3. After that you please check the condition. K12 will be equal to K21. So K1, this K21 will be equal to 2 ei by 3. Again this K12 will be equal to 2 ei by 3. So after obtaining all these values, you substitute directly in the formula. See here, this is our 2 by 2 matrices formula. Already I explained starting itself. Delta 1 and delta 2 are the unknowns. So already you know this one. K11 will be equal to, after simplifying we will get 7 by 3 ei, and this K12 will be equal to 2 by 3 ei, and this K21 equal to K12, that one will be equal to 2 by 3 ei, and K22 will be equal to 4 by 3 ei. So I am taking ei common and outside. Then I am taking just value 7 by 3, 2 by 3, 2 by 3 and 4 by 3 in place of K11, and I am taking all the EA constant term outside. And P1 and P2, because there will be no external forces given in the question, already explained that one also, you will get both 0. And what about this P1L? P1L will be based on the fixed end moments, based on the given loading condition. Already I told you at joint B, sum of the moments M bar BA plus M bar BC, you will get this minus 10, and P2L MCB, that one will be 15. So simplify this minus into minus plus and minus into plus minus. So in the next step, what you have to do? In the next step, you please remember this one. Sorry. See here, this minus into minus plus 10, and this minus into plus minus 15. So remaining things will be same here. And if you take down this value, if you take down this value directly in your calculators, directly simplify this term in your calculators. If you simplify directly this term in your calculator, what you obtain means, you can simplify directly in calculator. You will get the unknowns delta 1 and delta 2 directly. That is EI delta 1 8.75, EI delta 2. So that is EI delta 2 will be equal to minus 15.625. EI delta 1 will be equal to, after simplifying this equation directly in your calculator, you will get EI delta 1 will be equal to 8.75. So I am taking this term delta 1 will be equal to theta b. Already I told you delta 1 or theta b. So again EI theta c will be equal to minus 15.625. It is better to simplify in your calculator directly, and you will get these two values. Again, if I want theta b, I am taking that one will be equal to 8.75 divided by EI. Again, if I want theta c, I am taking this minus 15.625 divided by EI. Why I am taking this one? It is easy to substitute in the formulas. Then go to the final moments. See here, what is the equation for this final moment? So what is the formula for this one? So according to the given condition, I am taking this one. So already slopes theta c and theta b and theta c will be obtained here. Already slopes theta b and theta c will be obtained. So you take down the given question, then you will get a clear idea. See here, this is the given condition. In this condition, already we told you our basic unknowns are the displacement. That is at B and at C. Our basic unknowns are the displacements. That is at B and C. So you obtained this theta B value here and theta C value here. And at A slope will be 0. So therefore, whatever the unknowns we can we can obtain by using this stiffness matrix method. And after that you can find the final moments also. For finding the final moments, what we have to take in means we can take slope deflection equations. So see here, MAB will be equal to M bar AB plus 2EI by LAB into 2 theta A plus theta B. So already you know from the given question, given condition, your fixed moments will be equal to, for M bar AB, minus 5 plus 2EI by length of its AB span will be taken as 4 meters into theta 2 theta A. Theta A means at the fixed end slope will be considered as 0, therefore taking 0, plus theta B. Theta B will be equal to, already I told you, 8.75 by EA. I am substituting here 8.75 by EA. So if I am simplifying this one directly in our calculator, here EA term and EA term will be cancelled. 1 by 2, 8.75 divided by 2, okay, minus 5 plus 8.75 divided by 2. Directly take down in your calculators, you will get this value, which is minus 0.625 kilonewton meter. Again, move to the next equation. MBA, that one will be equal to M bar BA plus 2I by LBA plus 2 theta B plus theta A. That is our slope deflection equation for joint B. Then take down MBA will be equal to sum of fixed moments for BA, that one will be equal to 5 plus 2EI by L. Length of that span BA will be equal to 4 meters into 2 theta B. 2 into theta B value 8.75 by EI plus theta A value. It is fixed, therefore slope will be 0. I am considering here, and simplifying this one directly in your calculators means you will get this 13.75 kilonewton meter. Okay, again move to the MBC position. M bar BC plus 2I by LBC, 2 theta B plus theta C. Here you will get both the slope because there is no fixed, that is the reason you will get both the slopes at B and C. Already we can obtain by using the stiffness matrix method. Theta B will be equal to 8.75 UI, theta C will be equal to minus 15.625 UI. Substitute both the values directly in this formula. 2I by L means 2I by 4. Fixed moments will be 15. 2 into theta B value, this value, theta C this value, and simplify, cancel numerator EI and denominator EI. Okay, then you will get directly this value, that is minus 13.75 kilonewton meter. And what about MCB? So generally you can take down this formula and substitute all the values whatever obtained in the given problem, you will get the value 0 only. Otherwise no need to take down this formula. Why? Because whenever you see movement at the hinged and roller end will be always considered as 0. So don't waste your time by simplifying all this. If you see at the simply support end, movement always considered as 0. Directly take down that one as 0 kilonewton meter. And what is your checkpoint? How you will know either this problem is correct and whatever the procedure obtained here, you will get correct values or not? So for that point only, you take down checkpoint as sum of the moment at joints. Sum of the moments at joint B, exactly at joint B, equal to 0. Sum of the moments at the joint B will be equal to 0. Sum of the moments at joint B will be equal to 0. See here, if you sum this final moments MBA plus MBC plus 13.75 kilonewton meter minus 13.75 kilonewton meter plus minus 13.75 will be equal to 0. So if you obtain all the, if you do the procedure entire correct means your final moments at joint B will be equal to 0. For example, if there will be another span that is CD, like that means there will be two joints on a member B and C. So if you sum those two joints, that is for at joint B, BA plus BC will be equal to 0, and at joint C, sum of the moments means CB plus CD will be equal to 0. Like that you can make some checkpoints, and you please check that final moments will be getting 0 after seeing the condition. Whatever the moment at BA will be getting opposite value, that is BC, that is 13.75 minus 13.75. If you sum these two, you will get 0. Okay friends, really I hope you understand this lecture. So in the next part I will show how to draw the bending moment diagram for these given values, and at the same time for these obtained values in the stiffness matrix method. At the same time I will show you net bending moment values, all the things also. So if you really like this video, you please like this video, subscribe my channel and share it to your friends. Thank you so much.